So this is that Kiwi by Jayco, the 23-foot long camper. And so what I'm doing, I'm repairing the floor up in here. My wife was eager to get this one in the wintertime, and unfortunately, probably wasn't the best decision. So the floor is really soft. Up in this area, back around that area as well. And it wasn't that the floor was about to cave in, but although it felt like it. So what you have is you have a thin layer of wood, and you have this foam sandwich between the top layer of wood. So that's really what you're walking around on. And unfortunately, underneath here, they don't have a good grid system of steel, of iron running, underneath here. There's a bar here running the length of it, and then there's a bar on the other end running the length of it. And there's some areas across, running this way, but not much. So when it comes to repairing, you don't have much to do. You don't have much to be able to connect new wood onto to connect it to the frame underneath. Like here, if you look in the entryway where it was really soft, as you can see, I had to cut it all off. There's nothing in here. This right here is just this right here connected to the frame. So there's really no steel running along here. The closest steel you have here. So if you're soft in this area, you have to cut out this area. You have nothing to connect it to. So that's why I had to go further back. I wanted to go all the way back to the other steel beam on that end, and then run some thick plywood all the way from here to here, but unfortunately that wasn't going to happen. So what I do is I got this 1/8 inch thick 2-inch wide, these are 80 inches long, and I'm running them underneath. I'm running three, one here, and also one here as well. And I'll give you a look at, see what that looks like underneath. So this is the part I was talking about here, whereas all you have is the side of the camper and this little aluminum threshold. So there's no steel anywhere around here to do anything structurally to make it sound over this way. Your closest beam is here, and you have what, 18 inches or so gap between here and here. Then when you look underneath further, you see the other beam all the way on the other side. Now you do see a beam running across here, and further down you see another one down there, but really there's nothing in between there at all. That's how it is throughout this whole thing. It was kind of scary when you think about it, what you're walking around on. But so what I'm doing now, I'm putting 3 of these bars here across here. So I'm actually going to make it structurally stronger than it was from the factory. And I use my floor jack over there to lift it up just enough to be able to get just a little bit of the corner of this bar in there. And then I took my sledgehammer on this end of the bar and I hit it in until it got far enough, and then I pulled it down and got it down in this section. So what I'm going to be doing after that, after I get all of these up in there, I'm going to take these right here, these 30 inches right here. Well, they're actually a bit longer. I'm going to cut them down to about 30 inches. But these are angle ones. So they would add even that much more structural strength because they're angle. And I'm going to use those to run them this way across here in certain sections. All right. I want to be able to have it go from here down to that one over there, so I can put it underneath, and then they'll give even that much more structural strength to these right here because of they're going to be angle irons. And over here, to help me out even more, so with the entryway to give it more strength, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a hole in here, and I'm going to drill a little hole in here, and I'm gonna have a bar that goes from here, you know, flat, and then on the angle, and then it's gonna come here, and it's gonna be an angle here. So, you know, it's gonna be a little pitch to it there, and I'm gonna have them on each one of these, so it will take that weight and distribute it over here, adding some serious strength to this over here. And that will be in combination with, there's gonna be probably 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood sandwiched together, glued together. That's gonna be running from there all the way over here, and that's gonna be even more added strength. All right, so I use my angle grinder over here to trim off a chunk of it, and also to trim off, so this part that I trimmed off, this flat part will of course go underneath, and the same on this end as well. So I'm about to get under there now and see if I can get this wiggled in there. So I believe earlier I said these were, the flat pieces were 1/8 inch. I was actually wrong on that. They're actually thicker than that. If I look back at the original guy here, I got 3/16 inch thick. All right, so that's the size that I'm using. Now these angle irons, I picked these up from the local hardware store, Menards, and these are 1/8 inch thick. Here I went to a place that actually sells steels, and they're getting these 3 pieces over here for that. So one of the things I didn't say earlier was, so one of the things you may think your floor is about to cave in just because this hard part up here, the wood part on top of the foam, once that becomes soft, now you're able to compress down when you're walking on the foam underneath. So it feels like you're about to fall through, but the underside may be still just as solid, and so it's not really an issue that way. It's just making the top part sound again, hard again. So I just wanted to call out that part. And one of the things that probably helped lead to this, well, of course, a leak, but the other thing was having linoleum on top. That linoleum didn't allow for the wood to ever dry out, so that moisture just constantly stayed under there, which broke down this top layer. So I'm going to remove all of the linoleum for one and just put carpet in. I know we like linoleum when we're on camping. It's easier for the floors, but to avoid that issue, I think it may be easier just to have carpet. It's easier just to pull out some carpet and throw some new carpet in than to replace a whole floor. Now, past that point, so now I put the side, the crossbars on. So I have one here, and you see I have one here. This one here is to support not only the other side of here, but the new wood I'm going to put on here. And then I'll put one in here just simply because when you come in, you have something hard here when you're walking in, and now you'll have something hard here as well to help make sure that it feels nice and solid and not feel like it's weak. And I'll give you a look at it underneath as well. So, as you can see, I ran 2 bars, and I ran the up underneath here, and it's sticking out a little bit on that end, how I wanted it, and it goes all the way down over to that end as well. So there's 2 of them here. I originally wanted 3, just, you know, why not? But the hardware store only had 2 of them, so I stuck with 2. And so now that I'm done with that, now I'm gonna do a little bit over here to strengthen it up. And then I think once all that done, it would be nice to have my welder guy come in and throw some welds up in there. But what I may do is get my drill out, drill through the 2 layers, meaning the cross points, through the cross points, and have some like carriage bolts, some short carriage bolts, you know, with the rounded side, and then just to tie these in. So I can do a tie in here, a tie in here, a tie in here, a tie in here, and let's see here, wherever else I know, but at least 4 points where I can do Oh, and over here as well, from the where it goes over, I can drill down in here and do one here and here with the big main bar. So I'm looking to do that as well. All right, so the thickness of this floor is 2 inches. So what I did was I couldn't find, well, 2-inch thick plywood, and the place that I had didn't have any 1-inch thick, so I picked up some 3/4 inch thick plywood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down, do 2 sheets of 2 layers from this 3/4 inch here, which will give me 1.5 inches. And then I also have 1.5 inches underneath here as well. So that will take me to my full 2-inch thickness. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them together. And I'm also going to run some 2-inch screws through them as well. So they're sandwiched together as one unit. And I also picked up the screws, the nuts and bolts that I needed to, where I was talking about where I wanted to, where the beams cross over, where I wanted to put some screws in there. So you saw me drilling out the holes, so I'm going to throw some screws in there as well. All right, so I have the wood, the first layer of wood cut. I'm doing a test fit. I don't want to get it all the way in because once it's in, it won't come out. So I'm trying to make sure that it will go in. So I got some to go up underneath that cabinet, as you can see over there. And there was a little lip over here, so I'm accounting for that. I'm lifting up the door threshold right there in order to get it underneath. And then I'll take my sledgehammer and I'll hit it under here to move it in that additional couple of inches underneath the threshold. And at that point, this should be able to drop down up in there. So in theory, we'll see. So I'm gonna use this template right here to cut the other ones. If I'm forced to trim off some, it'll be better than trying to re-measure everything out again. So I'm gonna cut the other 2 pieces using this one as a template to draw it onto the board. All right, so now I put in, I don't know, maybe about 40 screws up in here. So just to be able to draw that together, so that glue can set and bond that together really good. And so now I want to do is go underneath and tie this into the structure underneath. So right now it's kind of just as a unit sitting on top, floating, as if you will. So I need to be able to tie it in to the bottom, from the bottom, okay? All right, so now I'm underneath, and what I want to do is drill some holes in here, along here, and run screws up in here that will go into the wood and draw that in. So now that floor is now a part of the frame of this camper. It's part of the structure. It's not just floating out there. So that's what I'm about to do next. All right, so floor will feel floaty, you know, the new part we put in, if there's any movement. So we want to make sure it's nice and secure to the frame we just put in. So this is here's like one of the holes I just drilled. Here's another hole I just drilled. I have one over here as well. So I'm doing it in different places, especially the corners. And I'm just going to take my screw and just stick it in there and drill it up into there. And that will now help make it become part of the frame. All right, so that's how I went about repairing the soft spot in my, what is this thing, a Kiwi, whatever you want to call it, the Jayco 23B Kiwi. So what I'm going to do next is, I won't do it on the video though, I just want to show you how I repaired the soft spot on here. It's nice and solid, but you do have other soft spots in here as well. back around here. Oops. It's a bit soft over here, and that's really just because the upper layer has let you get access to the foam underneath, basically. So I'm getting rid of all of the linoleum out of here, and I'm just going to take some 1/4 inch plywood, and I'm going to take, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some plywood, some cardboard. I'm going to bring it in here and make a big template of the whole floor layout, then take it out there and lay it out on sheets of plywood, 1/4 inch, and I'm going to bring it in here and do one continuous layer of 1/4 inch plywood through here to give a new solid structure along the top. And then that will finish it off, and then put some carpet in and make it look all pretty. So that's how I fixed a soft spot in my camper. If you like, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. You'll see I have some other camper related things out there as well for fixing on your camper. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.